Bryan Mbeumo wants a summer transfer move to Manchester United. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Today's video is centered around the big news that broke last night from David Ornstein that Brentford winger Bryan Mbeumo wants a summer transfer move to Manchester United. This could be Man United's second transfer of the summer already, and the window has barely even opened in what is music to the ears of Manchester United fans around the globe. We're going to be talking about the potential of this transfer story. We're talking Mbeumo, we're talking Man United and everything else in between. But before we go any further in discussing all of that and much more, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And I encourage you all to get involved in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling about this potential transfer story. I'm sure what you had to say will make for great and interesting reading, so please do get involved down below. And without further ado, we're going to get onto the topic of conversation ourselves. We're talking Mbeumo, we're talking United, and a potential transfer move in the making. It's been well documented now for a while that it seems as though Bryan Mbeumo's time at Brentford is coming to an end. It seems likely that the Cameroon International will be leaving Brentford this summer, and he is reportedly gathering a lot of interest from other clubs. He's been linked with a number of clubs up and down the Premier League, and if anything is to go by, if reports are to be believed, it seems that the man himself has made his choice of preference known, and that is Old Trafford, Manchester United, and to be a part of this Ruben Amorim rebuild that is currently going on at United right now. Ornstein took to social media last night to clarify things on this Mbeumo situation. He said, exclusive, Bryan Mbeumo's decided he wants to join Manchester United, and United are expected to open talks with Brentford in a bid to sign the 25-year-old forward this summer. Likes of Arsenal, Newcastle, Tottenham, all interested, but Cameroon International favours Old Trafford if the deal is agreed. There are further reports out there that Mbeumo could be available for about £50 million. Some other reports are suggesting anywhere between 50 and 60 million. And of course, the structure of the deal could also be favourable for Manchester United to get this deal done and dusted ASAP. So this one could move very, very quickly on this. But if this is to happen, this will be a massive move for Manchester United. We've already seen them make one big splash already in this transfer window in its very early days, with obviously Matheus Cunha coming in from Wolves. That was a massive transfer in itself. But if you add Mbeumo to the mix as well, that is incredible. Yes, there is still a lot of work that needs to be done, both in terms of incomings and outgoings for United. But those two players in particular, if Mbeumo is to follow suit with Cunha, of course, would be a massive, massive step forward for United. A massive upgrade on what they currently have in that kind of firing department there. And just an incredible transfer in itself. Just an incredible, incredible transfer in itself. Not just for the money, but in terms of what Mbeumo offers on the pitch, of course. In terms of goals, assists, creativity, and above all, consistency. He's been a massive cog in the machine at Brentford under Thomas Frank, of course. And I have to, above like all of his goals that he scored, I mean, he scored 20 Premier League goals this past season alone. I think he got 7 or 8 assists. I want to say it's 8 assists, but it could be 7. He's quick, he's pacey, powerful, creative. Above all, though, it's his consistency. It is, for me, his consistency of playing for Brentford, being one of the best players outside of the usual top 6 clubs, one of the best wingers in the Premier League outside of, your likes of your usual suspects like Mo Salah, like Bukayo Saka even sometimes. Mbeumo has been that guy. Mbeumo has been under the radar, underrated. And I remember when he was linked with Liverpool last year, I said that I wasn't completely sold on him, purely based on the fact that I didn't know if the step up would be too big for him. I didn't know if he'd be okay playing second fiddle to Mo Salah. And I did question sometimes maybe his finishing, could use a little bit of work on. But like I say, this season he's kind of proved me wrong a little bit. He's stepped up big time for Brentford, and now I think he's ready for the kind of step up and the kind of ready to jump ship sort of thing, where he leaves Brentford for pastures new. And Man United obviously represents that. Now, of course, he has been attracting a lot of interest from elsewhere, the likes of, as Ornstein said, Tottenham and Newcastle and Arsenal are rumoured to be interested in signing him. I think there's also rumours of the likes of Nottingham Forest as well. So why has he chosen Manchester United when all of those teams have European football of some description for next season? Well, maybe it's the fact that there is a big project going on over there. There is a big rebuild going over there. And Mbeumo wants to test his mettle in that kind of environment. Yes, it would be short-term thinking to go to a Newcastle or a Tottenham who have Champions League football for next season. He'd be starting there every single week. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, United still have that pull. United still have the name. As much as I hate to say it, being a Liverpool fan, and as much as I like seeing United in the mud, I can't deny that the name Manchester United still has a certain pull over certain players. Not as much as it used to, but it is still strong enough. It's still strong enough to pull people in. And not only that as well, but like I say, the rebuild is going to take some time. The rebuild is going to take a lot of promises and a lot of work to achieve. But they've already made a good start in the right direction. Signing Cunha, and if Mbeumo is to follow suit, that would only boost this rebuild even further down the line. But sometimes players are drawn to that. Sometimes players are drawn to the challenge of Man United, of a team like Man United, and being like, this team's been in the mud for a while. This team has been down for a while. I could be the guy to help rebuild them to their former glory, or at least get them to a stage where they can then progress beyond that person. At the very least, get them back into Champions League. Anything above that, I've at least started the process, or helped to start the process. Maybe Mbeumo's seeing that. Maybe Mbeumo's intrigued by Ruben Amorim. Maybe he's intrigued by the system that Amorim plays. Maybe he likes what Amorim is saying and what he's doing, and the way that he's obviously kind of maybe worded the kind of plan that is in motion at Manchester United right now. Maybe he's sold on that. Maybe he is sold on all of those things combined to make him think, as good as what Newcastle's project is, and as exciting as what it is, and even though Tottenham have just won a Europa League, United is the place for me to be. And if that is the case, fair play. Fair play for him to challenge himself in that kind of environment. Yes, it is going to be a monumental challenge for anybody who walks through the door. I've already talked about it with Matheus Cunha, about how he's an amazing player, about how the majority of Premier League teams would have wanted him. But it is going to be interesting to see how that toxic environment that seemingly is there right now is either going to change for the better, or it is going to consume anyone and anything that touches that environment. So this is going to be interesting to see how Mbeumo develops over there at United, if this story is to materialise into a proper move. But I have to admit, it's a fantastic move for United. A fantastic move for United. Like I say, pace, power, creativity, good goal scoring output, an absolute engine on him. Work rate wise, he's very dynamic, he's very tenacious. I like Bryan Mbeumo a lot. I really, really do. And to see him go to United is a bit frustrating and annoying. But at the same time, if that is where he wants to be and that's where he sees his future, then fair play to him. What does this mean, though, for Bruno Fernandes? Now, there has been a lot of talk about Fernandes going to Saudi Arabia and the potential that move could possess. But it does seem that news broke last night that Fernandes and his family aren't exactly too keen on a move to Saudi Arabia. Now, what is interesting is obviously bringing in Cunha and bringing in Mbeumo, and maybe there could be a striker in the making as well that's going to come in. United are obviously looking at a striker. Victor Gyökeres, as his name has been mentioned. Whether or not that actually does materialise remains to be seen, even though at the moment it does seem very unlikely. But it does seem that United are looking for a striker. Rasmus Højlund's been attracting the interest of Inter Milan. Imagine that, by the way. You've just lost a Champions League final, and the way to recover from that is apparently to try and appease the fan base after that absolutely humiliating Champions League final defeat. Turn around and go, don't worry guys, Rasmus Højlund. Read the room, people. Read the room. No, but in all seriousness, it does seem like he may be leaving United, which may leave the door open for a striker to come in, and then that is like a completely different and rebuilt attack, which would be devastating and frightening for certain opposition defences, I'm sure. But of course, that does mean that where does Fernandes fit in? Does he take a much more deeper role next season if he stays at United? Is he definitely going to be out the door at United this summer? Obviously, time will tell on that. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Bruno Fernandes going forward. But for United, look, the signs are positive. I know there's a lot more work to be done with United. I know that there is a lot more that needs to be done in terms of, like I say, incomings and outgoings, getting rid of some dead wood and some dead players that are past their use-by date. But you know what? Cunha and then Mbeumo, if that is to happen, that is not a bad start to the transfer window. And let's face it, we're only a few days in to the transfer window officially being open. So there could be a lot more activity going on at Manchester United than just this. But I'm sure that this will be music to the large majority of fans of Manchester United. And I can easily understand why. Bryan Mbeumo could soon become the latest addition to Ruben Amorim's rebuild. Those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of Bryan Mbeumo and a potential move to Manchester United being on the cards for this summer? Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling down below in that comment section there. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. Thank you all for your continued or brand new support to the channel. Whichever one it is absolutely very much appreciated by myself and of course the overall channel itself. I cannot thank you enough, guys. You guys are absolutely awesome. Will always be appreciated, never taken for granted. So thank you to each and every single one of you that either tunes in, likes, subscribes, shares, whatever it may be. It is very much appreciated by me. Cannot thank you enough, guys. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I'll soon speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.